Okay, so we're back on audio, and I want to talk about more audio-related topics. So what I wanted to answer is, are closets good for voiceover and for audio in general, or are they bad for it? Because you're always going to get conflicting kind of responses on this. So let me hover over this. He goes, don't use a closet. And he says, this sucks for closets. And then this person's just like, this is not a vocal booth. Don't use this closet. So I wanted to go ahead and answer this question and go from there. All right, so let me tell you the first thing. The first thing you always got to consider is this person that's giving the advice a singer or a voice actor? Because this person is a singer.
It's just going to sound like you're singing in an extremely...
It's just going to sound like you're singing in a blah, blah. That's all you got to hear. This is a singer. And singers do not like to record in a closet. They don't want it to sound super dead, right? That's one of the things you don't want to do. Now, this person is saying, this is not a vocal booth. What he really should be saying is stop recording vocals in a closet like mine. In my opinion, walk-in closets. That's what you got to use for voice acting. If you got reach-in closets, the reason why a walk-in closet sounds a lot better is because no hard walls are really close to the microphone, but at the same time, there's still enough large, thick, and dense and soft material around the microphone, and there's space around the microphone. Those three things are important for getting really good sound. You don't want the microphone to be really close to a wall, because when it's close to a wall, it sounds boxy. You don't want a microphone to be touching or near close, because that's going to sound muffled. But you also want to make sure that everything around the microphone is thick and dense and soft material. Otherwise, it's going to have reverb. So let me show you. This is going to sound a hell of a lot better than something like this. This is going to sound much worse by comparison, because here the microphone is really cramped up against to close, so it's going to sound really muffled. But it's a triple threat. This is the triple threat. Your microphone's too close to a hard wall, it's going to sound like a coffin. Your microphone's too close to clothing, it's going to sound like it's muffled. And if you bring it out here, you're going to get a lot of reverb. This sort of booth, this sort of closet is much worse than a closet like this. So when someone says closets are bad, what closet are they talking about? Is it this one or this one, right? And so, okay, here's like another example. This is an amazing place to record. She's got clothing all around. She's got a lot of space. There's no hard walls near the microphone. This is going to sound amazing. However, something like this is not going to sound good, because your microphone is pretty much right next to the wall, right? And it's going to sound really boxy. But when you put it right next to clothing, it sounds muffled. And then when you bring it out here, you're going to get a lot of reverb. This is going to sound substantially worse than this place right here. Can you guys see the difference? That's a huge difference, and that's an important thing to consider. I want to go ahead and talk about another video here. So this is by Boot Junkie. Boot Junkie is one of the most well-respected voice actors out there, right? And he knows a ton about acoustics and sound. He gives you a formula. He flat out gives you a formula on how to treat your space. Let me just see if I can find it right here. He tells you what to do.
And then over here, there was a quilt. Behind that are some clothes. Those are my clothes. And over here, I have another comforter. And then up at the top, I have just bed pillows and, the decorative bed pillows.
And basically, that's what you got to do. You got to make sure that you deck out the closets, right? So let me kind of explain in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to type in vocal booth closet. And what you're going to see is that a lot of people kind of do this like incorrectly. And so, but let's go over the piece by piece, right? So this one right here there's not enough. So you need more than just this. This is not enough. So this right here is actually, this is going to sound boxy and you need more space in this. But as you can see, what they're doing is they're putting the moving blankets, they're putting it flat against the doors and flat against the walls. This is not enough space. I would actually get the hell out of here and not record here, because this right here is going to sound really boxy. And it is. This is for sure going to sound boxy. And you don't want to record in a place like this. This is not enough space. This place has potential. He just needs to deck it out more. But this is a lot of space. If you put a lot more clothing, put pillows on top, this is going to sound really, really fantastic. This has potential. This is a good amount of space. See how this is different? This has potential as opposed to something no potential in here, because this is too small of a space. You don't want to record here. Let's keep going here. This is not going to sound good. This is going to sound like a box, because this thin acoustic foam does nothing.
Way that I'm speaking now, when I talk through it, you'll hear that it takes away just the top end of the frequencies, but all the low end frequencies, they're still bouncing around the room. Now rock will take away a lot of the frequencies, but if you listen the way...
As you can see here, you got to use really thick and dense and soft material. And that's exactly what Boot Junkie does too. He doesn't use a cheap, acoustic. He uses really thick and dense and soft material. And this is what you need to really get great sound for your audio. So I hope that answers the question. It really comes down to three things. Number one, are they talking about voice acting or are they talking about singing? Number two, is it a reaching closet or is it a walk-in closet? And number three, how are they treating the closet? You know what I mean? Because that's important. Hopefully that answers the question. But in general, the answer is it depends.